How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about Steam hardware. And in today's video, we have two Steam Machine topics to cover, starting out with the fact that Valve has the Steam Machine in their offices, so it looks like it's coming pretty soon. And then second, we'll talk about the pricing situation on the Steam Machine because it looks like Valve's having a strong internal battle. I hope you're having a great week playing a ton of video games. I'm very busy with videos right now, so I haven't had a lot of game time. Hopefully you're getting it in for me because that would be excellent. Before I jump into the video, real quick, I gotta shout out the Deck Ready X account. It's deck_ready. I've been making videos pretty much every day about whatever news story people are talking about the most related to Steam hardware, and it's been a lot of fun. There's some great conversations happening in my replies. So if you want even more Steam hardware video content from me that's not the same as the YouTube channel, follow me on X at deck_ready. It's linked in the description and on the channel. But with the intro out of the way, let's get into the first news story here. And once again, massive shout out to Sadly It's Bradley on Twitter. This dude is awesome. He was the one who figured out Valve got a huge shipment of Steam controllers. I mean, he's figured out a ton of stuff, and now he's back letting us know that Valve has been getting a lot of shipments to their offices lately of quote unquote game consoles. So unless they're ordering a metric ton of PS5s to figure out how to get the Steam controller working on the PS5, I think they're getting huge shipments of the Steam Machine into their offices. Here is visual proof. You can literally see the shipments coming in from China. This is all coming from Sadly It's Bradley. You should follow him as well. But yeah, I mean, just looking at how things shook out for the Steam controller, I don't think we're going to have a long time to wait for the Steam Machine announcement. It looks like the Steam controller really did get the ball rolling in terms of, you know, getting all the hardware out the door. So if you're a Steam Frame fan, this is good news for you as well. And honestly, I know we heard in that IGN interview that Valve was not planning to release this stuff at the same time, and I said I was skeptical of that. Now that I'm seeing the rollout actually play out, not that it matters all that much, I think maybe they did plan on breaking it up this way. So yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to have the Steam Machine very soon. I got to do this real quick. If anyone from Valve is watching, please send me one early. I'd love to take my time with the video and really get, you know, some actual power user super fan content out there. So yeah, if anyone from Valve is watching, hook me up. But this is really exciting. I know that there's a lot of, you know, back and forth with people about waiting too long, if they're going to cancel it or not. If you're one of the people who stuck with me over the past few months in my optimism saying no, they're not going to cancel it, obviously right now this is vindicating for us. I just really want to try this stuff out. I want to try out the puck. I want to try out the controller. I want to dig into SteamOS for a device on a TV or a desktop that it was built to be used on that way, because after months of using my SteamOS PC, the one pain point I run into consistently, well, two. The first one is my controller doesn't wake it up. I've got to use my Logitech keyboard and mouse combo, which is kind of a bummer. And then the second thing is it thinks it's a Steam Deck still. So with specific games like Lords of the Fallen, Metal Gear Solid Delta, and a few others, for some reason the developers bake in the Steam Deck preset and make it the only option. So I boot up a game, I go into the menu, I see I can't change the settings, I have to close the game, I have to enter the Steam Deck =0 launch command, I relaunch the game, then I get the unlock settings menu, and still it causes a few issues. So I'm assuming that once the Steam Machine is out and available, a lot of that stuff will be resolved. And it's weird because I'm on the preview, like Bleeding Edge main update channel, so I should have access to the like latest and greatest stuff within SteamOS. So it seems like there's still a few small things to iron out. I did DM someone from the developer of Lords of the Fallen, and I was like, hey, no one likes this. No one likes this terrible preset. No one likes the fact that you lock it down. And they said that they're actively working on fixing that game. So if they fix that and you're someone who's playing Lords of the Fallen on your Steam Deck, your Legion Go S, your ROG Xbox Ally X, your SteamOS PC, I guess you could thank me for making sure that, you know, they're not locking down the damn settings in a PC game. I'm being facetious, of course. I'm sure they already had that in the works, but those are my two small nitpick problems that I currently have that I'm excited to have resolved. Some people were saying I have no need for the Steam Machine because I already have a beastly setup with SteamOS. I'm going to put it here at this desk up here. I'm excited to use Blender on it. I'm excited to use it as a desktop at night in the summer when it's warm out. I don't like being in my basement. I used to be that kind of person who loved being in the dark in the basement where you can't tell what time of day it is. And now that I have a basement with virtually no sunlight coming in, no windows or anything, that is the last place I want to be at night when it's warm out. There's a window right there. I love cracking it open, getting the breeze from outside, hearing people walk around, hearing it, it's like very nostalgic for me because I ended up moving back to my hometown that I grew up in. So I like being up here in the summer. So I'm going to keep my Steam machine right here. I've got my 8-bit Duke controller ready to be swapped out with the puck and the Steam controller. It's a cool little battle station I built right here. So yeah, I'm going to put it up here and leave my SteamOS PC as my main TV PC. And most importantly, I have a 1440p monitor up here. So it's actually going to be better for the Steam machine because it's a lower resolution monitor. So I'll have to rely hopefully a lot less on FSR to get good performance, because I'm still kind of nervous for the performance of the Steam machine. Even after trying out the VRAM optimization, I got to see it to believe it, is all I'm saying. So yeah, it looks like we don't have long to wait for the Steam machine announcement, but that brings us to the second part of this video, which of course has to do with pricing. We've talked about this a little bit over the past couple of weeks, but obviously, like, this shouldn't shock anyone. Valve is in a tough spot internally when it comes to pricing the Steam machine because of the RAM crisis, the shipping crisis, and all this stuff going on. The big internal debate they're having right now is A, whether or not to take a loss on it, and of course B, how much of a loss to take on it. And we have an extra layer to this equation now because Mike Straw, who's a very reliable leaker in terms of what Valve's got going on, said the initial price they were trying to be under was $800. So the absolute upper limit of what they wanted to charge for the Steam machine was $800. Basically, that means between $700 and $750, which, if you guys remember way back, that was my preferred price point. Obviously, I would have loved for it to be $500 or $600, but $700, $750 seemed fair to me. And from that perspective, like, it's a company selling something, the upper limit is usually what you're going to see. That's just how this stuff usually works out. But obviously, the RAM crisis is throwing everything out of whack. So they were looking at it saying, well, we could release it now at a loss, and then eventually, you know, the parts will become cheaper, and then the amount we're losing on each one will decrease over time. That's kind of what I was saying about it back when I said that they should take a loss. And honestly, I still think they should take a loss. They're gonna make their money back on Steam hand over fist. I know you can use other storefronts like the Epic Game Store, GOG, blah, blah, blah. No one's gonna use those storefronts. Maybe for very specific games like the Resident Evil trilogy, for some reason it just works better on GOG. For specific outliers like that, people will use other storefronts, and then the people who are diehard Epic Games free games fans, they'll play those games on Steam, but those are less prevalent now than they've ever been. And honestly, I've seen the comments that people are a lot like me, where at first you'd go through the trouble to play the free games on Epic, but eventually the convenience of Steam wins you over and you just go back to buying your games during a sale or something like that. It goes down to the ethos of providing a good experience, makes people more willing to spend money on your store. So like, yeah, I think they should take a loss on the Steam machine now, get it out the door, and then make the money back later. And also they'll make money when the pricing of the parts kind of goes more in line with where it should be as time goes on. So when you combine this news story with the last one, it seems like they are going to take a loss, or if they're smart, they will, because as we've seen, people are able to build decent PCs for $900, $1,000, $1,100. So if they hit that price point with the performance target they have, they're going to have some major problems. Like, it sucks for them, really, it does, that, you know, they announced the Steam machine and right after that happened, the RAM crisis kicks up massively, and then they have all these problems. But you got to roll with the punches, and they are a company that thankfully can afford to roll with the punches. I love Valve, I love Steam, but obviously I'm on the consumer side at the end of the day. That's a huge reason why I love Steam, because they work so hard to be consumer friendly. But being on the consumer side means the consumer paying a fair price, and yeah, those are just the cards Valve was dealt. So if they're not going to cancel it, which obviously they're not going to cancel it because they've got shipments of them ready to go and they're shipping the controller and everything else, just sell it at a loss and get it out the door. People are excited for it. The longer you wait, the less excited people get, the less sales you'll get. And honestly, I don't think it's a big deal that people are building their own PCs, because SteamOS is not built to be locked to the Steam machine. I think it makes Valve more than happy when people do what I did and build a 9800 X3D 9070 XT rig to plant under their TV. Having used SteamOS for months, it's in a really good spot right now. There's a few small things they need to fix, but it's ready. It's time to get it out the door, and clearly they're going to be talking about it. I'd love to interview them. I watch every interview with Valve, and I see some good questions, specifically from the last IGN interview. That was really good. I see some good questions from Tested. They talked about the Steam controller a lot, obviously, and it turns out that the light, like the status symbol on the controller right above the power button or the Steam button, is actually also an IR light for the Steam frame, so it can give you 6 degrees of freedom with the controller. I love questions like that, but I use this stuff every single day, and I have actual user questions. So again, if anyone from Valve is watching, please email me. You have my email because I've been emailing them and getting ghosted, which is such a bummer. But you know, I'm working hard to get good content here on the channel, and I'm doing everything I can. So my last resort is to use the video to kind of reach out because I literally have no other avenue to do it. So yeah, that about brings me to the end of this video. Obviously exciting times right now, no matter what happens. I'm just so excited to get my hands on this stuff. The Blender update is going good. I've decided that I'm going to pause the course I'm doing and stop using it as a crutch to not be creative, right? Like, I'm sure if you're a creative person who has trouble putting pen to paper, or, you know, you have these great images or creations in your mind, and then the second you go to make the video or start the drawing or do whatever the medium is you're using to actually make the creative product, you hit a wall, you get scared, you have bad results because you're just not a good drawer or something like that. I'm scared of that. I think it's a natural inclination to be scared of that. So I was using the courses as a crutch to say, well, you know, I could just learn more about how to use Blender. I'm putting pen to paper. I'm going to create a room for the game that I want to make to take place in. It's a single room game. It's going to be blackjack mixed with Saw. It's going to be very simple. It's not original in any way, but it's just something that's been stuck in my head for a long time. Thanks for sticking with me and all the encouragement. I love the positivity in the comments. If you want to talk to me about Blender, DM me on X at deck_ready. But yeah, that's all I've got for you in today's video. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.